get back to what I was saying. My bad about that. All right, so I need to implement the favorite screen, and we're going to use that with SQL Delight to do the caching. Fetching the total views. Yeah, all of that is already kind of in place. Actually, this here is, I believe, what I did yesterday, but I have a bug. So I need to fix this up first. That way I can see this detail screen. And this, let's just change this to implement details UI screen. That way I separate what I'm trying to do right now versus where I'm trying to get at. I don't need this to implement favorites. So I'm gonna move this up a little bit. I'll probably just have a button that you can click and it'll show if it's favorite or not. And I need to write another like query or something to try to figure out if that existing search result that you clicked on was already favorited. Yo, what's up, Tukes? How's it going, my person? Hope you're doing all right. How's it going today for you? Have any more questions for me today? Okay, cool. But before I jump into all this coding stuff, I do need to finish editing one TikTok video. So that's what I'm going to be doing live. I'm trying to force myself to do this. Great. What about you? Oh, I'm doing fine, man. Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. It's a morning. I get to work on this stuff, which I want to work on. So I'm doing great. Bro, bring the questions. Bring the questions. And like I said, Discord, if you want the questions answered faster. But if you have questions right now, throw them. Throw them in the chat. I got you. I'll do my best to try and answer them. But while you gather your questions, I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap up this short that I'm trying to finish up. So let me mute the music. Or at least I'll bring down the volume of the music. And then I am going to try to finish and edit this. Capcon's been going crazy lately. I've been having to quit it and open it, and it's not working. Let's see what happens. All right. Tuk says, in all the backend framework you work with, what is your take on Spring Boot? Good question. I think Spring Boot is it has a lot of experience, right? It has a lot of it's been out there one of the longest. It's one of the oldest frameworks really for Java that you find out there. So it has a lot of stuff that has been fixed over time. You know, a lot of bugs that's been fixed, or a lot of whatever the case may be. So as a framework, I think it's more robust. So it's good to know it. It's fantastic. Like, it does a lot of things for you quickly. Building a RESTful API is really simple with Spring Boot. So I think it's a good, robust one. It depends really what are your goals, right? If you just want to build your startup to get going, yeah, by all means. If you want to use Spring Boot, go ahead and do that. To be honest, for me personally, if I wanted to like test out quick applications like that, I would use something like Ruby on Rails, which is super fast. But Spring Boot as a framework, like I said, is very robust. A lot of backend application uses Spring Boot to begin with, or they use Java rather. So yeah, I think it's a good framework for you to use. I personally, like I said, I would try to learn that framework, but also learn how to defend myself with other languages in backend, because that's just going to open up my bag. Now my bag is a little bit deeper, right? So now I can apply for more than just that one job for Java backend, right? My bag is now deeper, so now you can hey, I can do Ruby on Rails, I can do PHP, I can do Java, in my opinion. Not for prototyping, more for like job opportunities. Java opportunities, yeah, I'll say Java for sure is a really good one. And once again, like I said, because it is Java, you're gonna have more opportunities in the Android world as well, because that's Java, aka Kotlin. Well, they're not the same exact thing, but they're interoperable, and the concepts are the same when you code in. You know, it's object oriented, right? So I think Java is a great language to learn. A lot of the higher places, or sorry, not higher. A lot of the bigger companies I've worked for, their backend is typically backed by Java. So yeah, I think for job security, Java is definitely a way to go. But once again, I don't remember if you're in school or not, or you're already out there, working. If you're in school, I'm trying to tell you, don't stick to just one language. Don't stick to just Java. I know you want to just stick to Java, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. That could be your favorite. My favorite is C++, but I'm not coding in C++ today. So if the idea is you want to land a job, don't stick yourself with one language. Stick yourself with the concepts that you learn with those frameworks, those programs you build, with those languages. But learn multiple languages. That way you can then, like I said, your bag gets deeper, and then now you've opened yourself to more opportunities, because you now know the concepts that's across multiple languages, and you know those languages to back yourself up, in my opinion. I'm telecom engineer, and as I told you, I don't want to learn many languages. I like choosing a path. Yo, I respect that fully, bro. I 100% respect that. If that's what you want, if that's what you want to do, by all means, go do it, bro. Oh, that's right. You're the one that wanted to do backend, but your heart is really an iOS native. You can write backend code with Swift now, right? I saw some library out there that somebody wrote where you can write backend code using Swift. I'd say, I know you want to learn Angular. I'll just look at this real quick. Look into React to see if you like React. The reason I say look into React is because the way you build UIs using React is the same way you build UIs in Swift UI or in Jetpack Compose. In Angular, they're a little bit different from what I remember. But the components that React has you built, and the nested components, or those like little buildable pieces to make your UI, that's the same concept and almost the same syntax and how it looks in Swift UI or in Jetpack Compose. So I personally would go for React versus Angular, but I don't know. Because I don't know how, are they still updating Angular? Last I remember, I think I stopped on Angular like 1.2, 1.1? It was Angular 1.0. I don't know. It was a while ago. React is awesome. Yes, sir. I think React is awesome as well. Hey. But I see all Java job require Angular with it. That doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Do you mind sharing with me one of those job postings? Because Java and Angular, they have nothing to do with each other at all. One is a backend framework, one is a front end framework. Yeah, that might mean that's their full stack. That's their stack, right? But like I said, if you understand the concepts of a lot of these things, especially in the front end side of things, it's going to be easy to use whatever library. And most jobs will allow you to learn said library when you're hired on. But it doesn't make sense to me for Java and Angular to be in the same thing. I've seen positions that people are asking only for Angular experts or only for Java experts. But as a whole, no, I haven't seen that. No, they're really similar in terms of OOP. Okay. Got it. Got it. Well, okay, let me try to wrap this up here. But keep posting more questions if you have questions. Oh, shoot, what's this? Here. Okay, so this is my navigation, but I don't know if that relays that message. It's okay though. I'm not really good at speaking anyways. Compared to React, where it is more functional. Yes, React is definitely more functional. Which, like I said, Swift UI, if you're ever going to do iOS in the future, Swift UI, the way you build your UI is very functional, just like React. And Android, Jetpack Compose does the same thing as well. So since you know Java, you'll be able to build Android because it's easy for you to learn Kotlin. Or if you decide to go iOS, which is where your heart is, you know, learning that functional way of building UIs is to me honest, a skill that you can translate regardless of what language or framework you're in. But with the release of Angular 17, like it's more modern. Let me see here. Angular 17. Man, I haven't touched Angular in so long. Is this it? I just want to see like an example of what it looks like. Okay. No, like, yeah, hello world. Let's see here. Template. Okay. Oh, they're using TypeScript now? Go to YouTube. Send me a link. Send me a link and I'll go to the link. They introduced signals. Interesting. Oh, they finally did. Okay, this is dope. I enjoyed Angular when I did Angular. I really liked it. But the one thing I didn't like was the whole ng dash whatever. It felt like they were trying to do some Ruby on Rails type stuff. I don't know. Okay, anyways, maybe I'll explore that in a different one. Oh man, I'm like self-conscious about this stuff. Oh my gosh, CapCut really CapCut. Okay, you know what? Good. I'm just not gonna deal with CapCut right now. It's ridiculous. Let's see here. Give me a second. Let me turn up this volume so I can hear it. Yo, where's my volume so low? Hold on. I need to recheck. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's... Oh. I didn't... Okay. This is getting me like very anxious. The voice. Okay. Whenever I first did Angular, they didn't have a lot of the server-side rendering stuff. So that's pretty cool. It seems that they've improved quite a lot since the last time I've used Angular, which is a long time ago. That's pretty dumb, man. Thanks for sharing. So is that what you're going to be using, or is that what you're learning? The fact that they have server-side rendering, I can see now why they're trying to join Java and Angular. Because, you know, that's like me saying, hey, I just need a PHP developer, or I need a PHP developer that knows Laravel. The fact that you know Laravel, it means that you already can fit into their stack. So that makes sense. Let me see here. I need to... What do I need to do here? I need to... I was going to open CapCut one last time. I'm just going to try one last time. If it works, I hope it works. We'll get it done. Let's see here. All right. Please, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, girl. Do the thing. Okay. Okay. Consuming is a keyword here. Consuming. Let's see here. I need to work on my enunciation. I am not a very well speaking a very well spoken person. My module or module. Okay, it's our. Yeah, that's hard to understand. My module is my. Right here on this one, on that notch, boom, boom. We change this word to my, no spaces though. And the module comes right in. Yeah, boom, right here. Did you play around like with Next.js 13 React server-side actions? No, I did not get to work on those things. So my story with React is there was like I told you before, you know, I initially started doing full stack development or backend stuff. So those were all the jobs I could find. And then I taught myself Android development, which is what I really wanted to do. So there was a job posting for a place that somebody I knew worked at, or somebody I know worked at. But they needed a backend engineer to do some stuff. So, and they also had a posting for Android. At this point, you know, I have like 4 years of experience with backend engineering and none with Android. So I applied for both positions. I did both challenges. The challenge for the backend was React, and I didn't know how to do React at all. So I taught myself how to do React, and I built an application for them. And I submitted that challenge, and then I did it also for the Android challenge. Well, turns out they accepted me for both positions, and then yeah, that was it. So I eventually just took the Android one because that's really what I wanted to do, and then here I am. So I didn't get to experience like the craziness or the newer stuff from React. It was just that piece that I was able to play with, which actually led me to build other like side projects for myself. And I taught myself Redux and that whole little pattern. But I was using, what was I using for the backend? I had like a Rails API that I would hit for the backend, and that was it. So it was not really I didn't get to do any like backend rendering with React, if that's the thing. I don't know if it is, but yeah. Module. This should be green as well because the keyword, and then internal will do a keyword as well. I wonder if there's an easier way to do all of this highlighting stuff. All right, this is slow. The edit. See, this starts from here. We can bring it here. Edit right here. Recipe. So we're gonna be right here. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Yeah. This can be B right here. All right, almost done with this one. Yes. Internal. All right, dope. I think I'm almost done because the next chunk should only be timing. Oh, this came in late or early. Was it late or early? No, it came in on time. Bro. I'm never gonna get this done. CapCut has been not working for me at all. Look at that. Oh my gosh, bro. All right. I'm gonna not do that anymore. I'm just gonna focus on the coding side of things. All right, dope. Let's just jump right into this because since that video CapCut stuff doesn't work, I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. All right, so what do I got going on here? I am currently trying to fetch the total views, counts, videos, and counts and basically all the data that I need to display. Right now, I just have, for instance, if I search for myself, I only have the main information of when they're joined, which we'll format this to look a little bit nicer. It will let us know if they're favorited. That's something we'll build on later on. And then just like a description right here. When we click on that person, what happens is we send a network request to try and fetch the total views of that person, total posts, and what's the last one? Total views and total followers or subscribers. The reason why I got like jungled up right there when I was explaining that is because I'm thinking ahead of integrating TikTok, Instagram, hopefully X. I know the API stuff has changed, maybe Reddit. And I want to aggregate all of those into a specific social stat profile that I'll store locally on this on the device. And then you can just see an overall like how many posts you have online across all of these social platforms. That's the reason why whenever you're searching here, I have these different chips that you can click on. Right now, YouTube is the only one that's enabled. If I click on one of these, it says here, coming soon, right? This is a feature that's currently in development, but we're excited to introduce to you in a future update. Basically, what that's going to do is allow you to search by those social platforms. So, maybe it'll look cool later on. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I need to look into the network request that is sent whenever I click this guy and see what's going on. Why is there an error? Right, so network inspector. By the way, if you've never used a network inspector before, you know, there's this guy here, this little icon says app inspection, or if you go into tools, is it tools? I always forget. Or go to help, app inspection. Yeah, it's tools, windows, app inspection, right here. This guy will open up this little tooltip, or this little, I don't know, bottom bar that has these 3 tabs: database inspector, which is gonna come in handy here in a bit for myself. But network inspector for now will do the work for us. What does network inspector do? Whenever I do a network request, so let's say I'm gonna search for Mr. Beast. I do a network request. You can see the network request here that's being made. I can see what's going out, you know, and then I can see what the response is that was sent, right? Which is pretty dope. I don't need to leave my IDE. I can see the network that's being sent. Now, the one that I need to check is once I click on this person. So here, this is a network request right here. Let's see, it went out. Here's the response, and I get the response back. So this part of my application is doing good, right? It's hitting the network, and it's getting the data back. Now that means something is going on my UI side of things, right? Maybe I'm parsing it incorrectly. Knowing that you did web and mobile, what do you enjoy the most and why? That's a great question, my person. Appreciate it. I think I enjoy mobile the most, and the reason for that is, okay, let me step back a little bit. In backend or web, I honestly didn't feel like I had control of what I could build. You know, like if I wanted to do a really big application, for instance, I would have to design the API, deal with the databases, deal with, like, I don't know, whatever optimizations need to be happening on the back end. And then I would need somebody else to work on the front end for me. So when I went to mobile, I felt like I had control of the entire stack, right? Because as a mobile engineer, I need to worry on the front end, like just building these UIs, these animations, these components that enhance my branding. That's a whole job in itself. That's a full-blooded skill that you need to have, right? Whenever you go to the backside of things, right, you need to be able to know how to consume, build your repositories that are easy to be consumed by your UI layers. So then you have to architect just the way how that portion is controlled, be it with repositories, use cases, I don't know, having to introduce your own local storage, be it with SQL Delight, Room, or just write into a file, whatever the case may be. It feels like mobile is just like a full stack in its own. So I enjoy being able to jump in all of those places. So for me, I think, yeah, that's why I like mobile more. I just feel like I have more control of my world. I get to build it my way, and I have control of all of these things. I don't need to worry about, whatever version in. Oh, I don't know. Backend to me was just, it didn't feel complete. Mobile for me feels complete. And that's why I enjoy it. Plus, there's this feeling that I get when if I build an application that's helping people, so one of the most successful app I built was for a client, obviously, and it was a pharmacy app. So it helped people order their their pills directly from the phone, and they could curbside pick it up or whatever the case may be. And the fact that, we built this application really nice and people enjoyed it. People, not only that, but the reviews are saying that this was like, it made their life a lot more easier. Even the pill reminder feature helped them a lot, or whatever the case may be. That just gives me, like, it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? So the fact that you can touch people closer, I think, using mobile applications is why I enjoy doing mobile. That's too much. I talk too much. Anyways, do you agree that with mobile you target the end user compared to web? Yeah, I mean, there are some mobile applications that the end user might be some people that are internal, right? I've worked for clients that have, their own internal application for their employees, and working on that, the end user, it might be very, very small, right? So I don't know, like, do you agree that with mobile you target end user? I believe with web you also can target the end user, right? The end user could be a developer, for instance. Like, I'm consuming your APIs, so I'm your end user. So it really depends. What do you mean by end user? Do you mean like your average person who, I don't know, walks along their day every day? Then yeah, I guess mobile gives you a closer contact with them. But web does have its powers. Like, the reason web is huge is because everybody uses web. Mobile uses web. We have to use web, right? We depend on the web. Yeah, like if it's a public average user, yeah, I think mobile definitely has a bigger, you know, um, a closer reach. Though, I don't know, maybe. For instance, me, I don't use a lot of apps. I use Chrome a lot though. So I'm always browsing the web. So it depends, really. I don't know if I'm an average user though. Anywho. Yo, Mr. Delmo, hello. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. What brings you back? Oh, I don't have the music playing. Ha ha ha. I just realized that. There we go. So, Mr. Delamo, since you're a first-time chat user, I need to know if you do programming, or do you enjoy programming, or what's up? You're a programmer. Sweet, cool. What are you programming? Or yeah, what's your language or tool that you use? Oh, you want to learn. Cool. Are you trying to learn like a specific type of programming? Like, is it for mobile? Is it for web? So this is not my problem. It's a logcat that I need to check now. Let me adjust this a bit. Dope. Okay. Let me. Oh, here. I want to learn. I am teaching myself with YouTube, currently on Java. Hey, Tukes96, your boy here, Mr. Delmo, Java person too. So y'all should link up in the Discord so y'all can help each other out. That's dope, Mr. Delmo. I think Java is a dope language to learn. I personally, if I had to recommend something, I'd say learn Kotlin instead. That's what I'm using right now. Kotlin and Java are interoperable, so whatever you build in Kotlin can run on Java. So you should be good. Yep. This is Kotlin. So yeah, I'm a Kotlin addict now. And the cool thing is it looks like Swift. So I built mobile applications because I learned Kotlin. So anywho, something is going on here. Okay, it's also not picking. Okay, let's see here. Ah, dang it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's a JSON exception here. Unexpected JSON token at offset 471 encountered an unknown key. Use ignored key true on JSON builder. Oh, brand settings. Do I want brand settings? What is brand settings here? Brand settings, channel, image, which is the banner. Is that why I want it? The brand settings? I want the brand settings for the image. Yeah, that's right. So, Mr. Delmo, why do you want to learn Java? By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Tooks96 been asking some good questions today. I really appreciate you for asking those questions, man. So I think I want to add this branding settings because well, let's take a look at what this looks like here. Actually, all right. So is the banner like this? Subscribe for a cookie. I don't know if I'm going to need this right now. So what I'm just going to do for now is I'm going to strip that out of this API here. Let's not do that. Working opportunity at your job. Got it. Dope. Yeah. Java is definitely a. Sorry, I got something wrong. Java is definitely a great language to learn. I think yeah, in college, Java was one of Java was the language we used to learn object-oriented programming. Though that was the last time I touched it. So anyways, eventually Kotlin came along and then I was like, what is this? It made my life so much easier and I love it. Okay, so we have this here now. What's going on? Kotlin, missing field exception. Content details snippet status required. Okay. Is that in the statistics results? Content details, snippet, and status. So you're saying that, I see. So I need to return the branding settings if I want the other stuff. But what do I need from here? Really, what do I need from here? Oh, I do need the snippet. Snippet. Dang it. Okay. So I will need that from the YouTube. I need to reintroduce the branding. And let's make this call again. And let's try to assess and see which one is the fields that we're missing and how we should add them. User, app inspection. Oh, need some more cafeína. Hey, mira. Hey, yo, I'm rapping. We bapping. We're going on the beat. You know me, I'll be super complete. You know me, you can't compete. I am trying to rap on the beat. I don't know what to say to you. Okay, this is missing quite a few things actually. Right? Oh, where's the item? This doesn't have an item. Oh, this is items right here. Okay. So when I go into items, content details, it's gonna fail here again because it doesn't have the content details. Why is it different here? Is it because I copied this one? Part snippet. And what's the part for this one here? Part statistics. Sorry, I'm looking at the API that I have here on the lower screen, and I don't want to show it because it has my API key and all of that stuff. So let me just verify here. This will return just that one. Content details, I don't need the content details. looking at it, it just gives me like the related playlists and stuff. I don't actually need that. Status is link. I actually don't need status either. Statistics, I need statistics because that has the view count, the subscribe count, the video counts. Snippet, I do need snippet. That has the title, which I need. It has the thumbnails. It has a localize, which is interesting. But it has a description and custom URL. Yeah, so I do need snippet, kind, and ID. Yeah, e tag, those need to be there. So it looks like to me this one is not being used, so we can get rid of it. And actually, let me just run this before I delete everything, and then it just doesn't work. By the way, don't forget to hit the follow. Man, I'm struggling to talk. Let's see here now. Froze error. App inspection. Okay, sorry, logcat is what I meant. Oh my gosh, what are we missing here now? Branding settings. Let me double check. Did I need the branding settings? Branding settings. Oh, that has the banner. I don't really need it, but what I do need is probably ID, snippet, statistics, and that's it, right? Yep. So let me change this to say ID, snippet, statistics, and this should not, hopefully, give me a parsing exception again. Logcat. Hold on, is that new or is that the same? Missing field country. Network DTO snippet. Is that here a thing? Snippet country. Huh, that's not here. Huh, this is interesting because I'm looking at the response here that I made. Sorry, the call that I made locally, and there's no country, right, field that's here. And we can actually double check that here. Let's see. Response, items, snippet. So there's a title, description, custom URL, the thumbnails, localized. There's no such thing as a country. So this is ridiculous. I don't know what to do here actually. Let's take this. So the network request, where are we parsing this? Where are we parsing this? We're parsing this wherever we're using statistics, and we're using that here. All right, so when we're parsing it here, let's hit this breakpoint here, and let's see what's going on. Let's debug this. Froze error, search, click. All right. The exception. Let's take a look at this exception. Backtrace, cause. Field country is required for the type with the serial name. Okay, come on, get out of this, stop this ads. All right, Why? Country. Okay, I want to see. Yeah, let's go here. I want to see what is it that we're trying to parse. Throw missing. I want to see this throw missing. This makes no sense to me at all. Because the network call has nothing that says country. All right, we're gonna check this out again. This is what I'm gonna do. Let's run it through. Let's get the response, and let's paste this in and inspect it a little bit deeper. Right. So let's go to the good old JSON formatter. Well, however you say it. Oh man, I cannot speak. And let's take a look at this. Huge. Holy crap, bro. Holy shit. Oh, yo. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. By the yo, that's a good welcome, right? Oh man. Thank you for the follow. Oh man. He said that alert is a crime. Oh man. Sorry about that. You know, I added that one just to make sure that I'm alive. So you made sure I was alive today. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for that. How you doing? Biting bits. Sounds to me like you know coding, so you need to answer the question. What is it you program in, and why do you program in that one? In the meantime, I'm going to try and keep debugging, and hopefully not another follow comes by, because then my heart will not be able to deal with that. What were the two questions again? So what are you programming in? So what programming language are you using? And I guess just tell me what are you programming and what are you building right now? Let's do those two. Snippet, title, description. Yo, there's no country in here. There's no country. Why are you saying missing field exception? Field country is required. Where my code said country? Oh, why is this country here? Get that out of here. Oh my gosh. I'm still, my heart is still like And the search, no, I need the logcat. Let's see here. Click. Dope. Heck yeah. Here we go. So we got all the data now. All right, we can see here is exposed. Dope. So that means we have successfully fetched the total views counts and videos count and subscriber count. You know what? I need to views, comma, videos, and subscribers count. I've successfully been able to do that. Nice. All right, Byton Bits says, I learned React, JavaScript, and now Java, and I used to do a little Python. I don't make anything right now. I started a 2-year education to developer 3 months ago. My coding skills are very limited still. Okay, I mean, sounds like you're getting started, which is a good place to be in, because it means there's a lot for you to learn, right? So that's fantastic. Just embrace that. Try to learn every day. If you have time, I definitely recommend you build side projects. It's the fastest way to grow and learn, in my opinion. But you know, I get it. People have time commitments and stuff. So, but that's cool. Sounds to me like you're in a very good spot right now. So, if you have any questions about any of those things, you can shoot it my way too. I used to do full stack development before I switched over to mobile development. So I do have some experience in that as well. Dope. So let's see here. I think I'm now at a point. Oops. 1 second. Loved one is calling me. Sorry about that. You know, when the loved one calls, you gotta respond. That was cheesy, but yeah. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Dope. I think I'm a good spot now where I can commit because I've achieved the fetching the total views, videos, and subscribers count. So let's see what was all involved in that. Not the constants. I cannot open the constants. That has my API key. But this content details, we do not need this anymore. Let's delete you. Detail screen, yes, because here we just show the entire social profile, which is what we see here. We do need this. Item DTO, yes, definitely need that. Share, yeah, we don't need this yet. Localize ETO. Okay, page info. Related playlist, no, because we got rid of the brand and settings. Snippet, yes. Social stat app, yep, this is the view model pass along. This is the new view model, yep, that we did for getting the statistics. And this is the view state. This one, we don't need it yet. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And then we're gonna see here, fetching details info. Navigate into the details screen. Automatically fetches for the details of the remote ID that was passed in. That's it. Because now the next step is going to be to implement the favorites, which is the SQL Delight or caching mechanism. Yep, we're going to get to there here in a bit. Let's see here. Why are you complaining? Apply to the model. So this annotation will not be bad. Make sure you set up build script correctly. Build script. Interesting. Let me copy this warning because this seems like something I should do. Yeah, I feel like this is something that I need that I don't have. Where's my app Gradle? Gradle here. Is it applied here in the plugins? Yeah, it is applied. Okay. I don't need it here, right? Project level, then in the app Gradle. So I need it in the app Gradle as well? I didn't think I needed it in the project level, which is this one. I already have that. Oh, Kotlin JVM. No, I already have that. You know what? I'm just gonna commit it. It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out later. Just gotta keep moving. 1 second. Mom will be here soon. Please close the door. She's sleeping right now? Alright, we're back here. Let's see here now. Yeah, so we're just gonna commit this, right? Just commit it. Select files to commit. Oh, I already committed. Okay, cool. All right, next step. Next step is implement favorites. All right, to do that, we're gonna need SQL Delight. SQL Delight is gonna be my database layer. So let's just jump ahead and get this in SQL Delight, GitHub. Let's get started for Android. So we're gonna need this. We apply this to this Gradle, right? SQL Delight. Then we're gonna define our database like this, which I will be calling sync. And let's see here, we define the schema, yeah, which I will do here. And then this is the dependency I will be needing. And this is how I get the driver. Okay, yes, man. I think I'm gonna need hilt eventually. For now, I'm just gonna have to write it, you know, without hilt, so without dependency injection. It is what it is, yo. I think I needed more hyper music. Okay, you synced, dope. So the database is gonna call social stat.
Did you already eat?
Com that. What's it?
Did you already eat?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. Thank you. All right, everybody's waking up now, so I need to maybe do this for like 30 more minutes or so and then get to the fam. So social stats is what's gonna be called, social stats, com.social stats, and then the package I'm gonna call this dot SQL Delight is what I'm gonna call it, or just DB. Let's do it like this, data.db. That's what I'll do. The reasoning for that is, or actually, I'm going to call it local. Yeah, local. The reason for that is because I wanted to match the package name of my actual structure. So because this is going to be built outside of the structure that that I have in my package right now. So I'm going to say local, and this should work. DB, I think maybe might work. Yeah, this I'll stick to this for now. Right, so then after that, what do I need? I need this driver. So let's apply it now. Dependencies here, and I'm just throwing dependencies everywhere. I'm just trying to finish this app up as quick as possible, so I'm not really thinking about any of like formatting or anything like that. What I do need to do later on though in the future is maybe make this a little bit more of a template, so that way I can just build apps faster and I have to do this boilerplate stuff. Dope. So this is in defining the schema. So I need to go and create a package just like this. Yep, source main SQL Delight, source main. So I need to put this in project, source main. Is it main? Yeah, and then here I need to add a new package. What do I add here? Java is not under Java, right? It's gonna have to be under source main SQL Delight. So new folder. It's not a resource, new directory. Let's see this. SQL Delight, yay! And it automatically knew, yo, that's dope. That's dope. All right. So then it automatically generated it. Now here I can add my tables. So let's think about this. When I hit the favorite button, what's gonna happen? When I hit the favorites button, it's gonna shoot. Let me just draw this real quick. Draw IO. Is it draw.io? Yeah, no. All right. So, right, square here, whatever. Whenever, why does it have to be locked in? I don't want it to be locked in. There's always something that messes up. Okay, is there a rectangle? Thank you. Rectangle. Turn. 90 degrees. Thank you. All right. So once the phone gets clicked, right? It's then gonna go ahead. It's gonna make a network request, right? It's gonna make a network request. When it makes that network request, what is it that I really want to do? Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this so it can be easier. Whatever. Oh my gosh, okay, whatever. Let's think about this. When I click the favorite button, right? So I go ahead, I search, and I click I'm here in the details. At this point in time, I know all the information on that particular profile. The question is, when you hit the favorites, do I want to now save what I have into the database, or do I want to pre-cache that? So as soon as they click the details screen, I already have that stored into the database. No, I think that might be too much. But I'm trying to think of ways of limiting how the network requests that are going to be going out. Maybe that's an optimization I can think for later. For now, okay, whenever I click, I go hit the network, I bring that back down. When I hit favorites, I already have that information in memory, so let's just store it in the database. All right, dope. I don't need none of this drawing. I was wasting time, but I know what I'm going to do here. So let's get back to where my UI is being called. So that's in the, what screen is this? The detail screen. So here in the detail screen, I say, hey, go ahead and get me the statistics. Once you get me the statistics, I have this in memory. So let's just create another method here called save. And this, or let's see here, add or toggle favorite here. And we're gonna give it an ID. Although we don't need to give it an ID because we know which one it is when we load it. Which makes it interesting. So that means I'm gonna have to reset this to null. How do I know when I want to reset this to null? Okay. What I'll do for now is I'll just do a check on it. If the thing is, this social profile also need to return me and let me know if it is a favorite already or not. So that means that this call, when being made, it needs to go through the database. All right. To do this should be done in a repo layer, so we can calculate if it is a favorite based on what is in our local storage. This is a coming soon thing that needs to happen. I'm not going to focus about it right now. Instead, I am going to say we're going to add it in. Should we add it in? Yeah, let's add it into here as well. It's going to be there. We just won't add it. No, but when we do toggle favorite here, first things first, I need to check if the state value, 10 years of experience, that's a lot. Oh man, you're making me feel, oh, yeah, I have quite a lot of experience, but I'm I'm not the brightest developer you can find out there, for sure. I'm not that intelligent, but I do have I've seen a lot of things. So we're here. Hey, as my mom always tells me, old is a state of mind. So I'm trying to keep it that way. I do know I'm older, but I'm trying to keep that as a state of mind. In my brain, I'm still a child. So, we're good. The brightest developers are geniuses. Yeah, man. And I work with some that are like up there. I'm so fortunate to be in the circle, or at least peeking around them, So hopefully some of that geniusness will rub off on me a little bit, but I'm having fun. And that's what matters, I think, the most. So it's okay if I'm the dumbest one in the room. I ain't tripping. All right, so the social profile here has an ID, right? If this ID equals to the ID, remote ID, equals to the ID that I have here, then that means we don't need to fetch it. Okay. I want to get really good with Java. Anyway, gotta leave for a little while, but I keep the stream on for the support. Yo, thank you so much. I really appreciate the follow, for everything. Hopefully I get to see you another time. And if you ever want to learn more about Java, you can go to the Discord and ask me questions if you want. That's the quickest way to reach me. I've done Java for a long time. Recently Kotlin, which is really great in my opinion, but a lot of it has to do with Java too. It's very interoperable, so a lot of the concepts apply. So if you have any questions, Discord if you want. But anyways, thank you for the follow and hope you have a great day. Thank you for the support, man. I'll see you. Dope. So let's get back to this. I have the remote ID now. I've identified that I already have it in memory. So I could have a use case here, but for now, let's just throw it into the database layer. So how would I go about doing that? See, this is already becoming super brittle the way I'm writing it, because I have a mix of network and eventually database calls that are going to be made here. So what I'm going to do right now, to be honest, I'm just going to create a repository real quick. So I think this is going to keep me a little bit more organized, and it's going to make more sense what I'm trying to handle it. So let's see here. It's just going to be a singleton, and we're going to call this, for now we can call it social stat repository. That's fine. Could just do it one. Then we're going to have a function that it's search, right? There's a search here. Search, and search is going to have be a query here, right? And then this query is going to return what is it going to return? I need to define, it's going to return a search result. Un segundito. Love one came in clutch. Qué rico. All right. Let's see here now. Sorry, forgot it was even. Okay. So this is the domain model that I have, right? So I already have this social stat repository. That's for the widget. This needs to be called something else. Yo, what's up? Sauce Gaming. What's up, my person? Hope you're having a great day. How you doing today? View model. Oh, okay, I already have this one. Let me rename this real quick this is going to be specific to the widget. Social stat widget repository. I'm good, man. How's the stream? Stream's been going all right. You know, we had one new addition today so far, and we're doing okay. You know, we're focusing on the app that I'm building and just having good conversation. Lots of great questions came out today. So yeah, it's been good. How about yourself? Hope you're doing all right. Okay, now that I have that name, let's go ahead and reintroduce this guy. And we're gonna say, okay, this is gonna return my search results right here. And it's gonna be a list of search results. So that's okay. We can just do this. Not the view model scope. We'll do this here. Is today the day you're teaching someone Python? Today was the day I was supposed to teach somebody Python. Yes. However, they unfortunately they had a last minute conflict in time, so we weren't able to meet today. We're planning it out for next week for sure. But like I said, the idea is me and him to meet every weekend and just go over Python and programming concepts in general. Might do some leak code type problems. So I'm just helping him out to try and get, prepare him for his classes. So yeah, next week, hopefully, I need to do a better job of like explaining my calendar. So I'll definitely try to do posts maybe in the Discord for sure. I'll do the post and say what's gonna happen and keep you guys up to date. But yeah, things happen. Exactly. Stuff happens all the time. So it is what it is, We just gotta look forward for the next one. That kid, he has an amazing story. Just trying to help him out in whatever way I can. Okay, why are you? It's because you're an object. I can't instantiate it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We should never do this, we should never do what I'm doing right now, which is have this instantiate right here like this. Instead, actually, I'm gonna make it a class. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna make it a class. This is probably the better way to do it. Here, yes. And then here we'll do that and return a list of search results, right? Search result, and this has to be a suspend function. Yep. No. So now we have a repository to do the search. It returns a list of search results, which means, yeah, here I can then do the bridge between hitting the network layer and hitting my database. So eventually I'm probably gonna have a private val DB here as well, and that's how we're gonna hook both of them up. So for now, I think this works. Yeah, this works. Is there a reason to not have it the other way? When you say have it the other way, are you saying having it like this as an object instead? So you say, is there a reason for not having it this way? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying, yeah, I'm just trying to get clarification of what you're saying. That way I can answer the question. Oh, where's my slippers? I think you had it as object before. Yes, you said it's better to have it as private validating. Yeah, so I had it as object before. Yes. The reason we don't want to have it as an object is because when you have it as an object, you need to provide it. You can't provide it the implementation of whatever you're trying to use. You need to instantiate it within the object. What I mean by that. So this is my object, and my object now has this YouTube API, and let me add the search here, right? We have the search, it's a suspend function, boom, and this does some searching with the YouTube API. The search, whatever string, right? These two, in essence, are the same thing. However, pardon me. Oh man, pardon me. However, the difference is, if for some reason I would like to change social stack app provider YouTube API to something else. So right now, this YouTube API is using retrofit under the hood. But let's say I want to change that to use KTOR, or I wanted to use LKHTTP under the hood. If I have it instantiated in here in this object, it's going to be harder to change. You know, that's like probably one of the wrongest reasons to do that. But let me double back, and I'm not going to overkill the explanation. All I'm going to say is the reason you want it to be a class versus an object is because objects are harder to test, class are easier to test. So for instance, here in a class, I'm passing along the parameter for that class, you know, the dependency this class needs to make the operations it has. So that passing this dependency, if I pass it in as a mock in a test, it's going to make it easier for me to verify that the operations it's trying to do is actually correct. However, or instead of a mock, actually passing like a fake implementation of it, then I can test it out easy. In the case of an object, since it's instantiated inside of the object, you can't really pass that mock or that fake implementation. It's just going to use whatever is there. For instance, if this is an API that actually uses the network layer or hits the network layer, you don't want to do that every time in your unit test, right? Your unit test is supposed to be very cheap. So not being able to pass in the dependency to an object limits you, it limits you heavily in the sense that you can't test, or, you can't really test this piece of code that you want to test. So you typically want to go for classes. Singletons, they really need to have their specific use cases to use it. Man, I went on a ramble there to try to answer that question, and I don't know if I'm like making it more confusing for you or whatever. Anyways, I'm just trying. I'll just try it. Thank you, that clears it up. You are a great teacher. I try and limit my question. No. I am not a great teacher. Do not limit your questions, please, because I do like answering questions like this, because one, it reinforces what I know, and two, you get to learn something. So, I am selfishly, I want you to ask me more questions because it helps me understand more of what I'm doing. So please don't stop them. But okay. I'm going to keep it here as a class because it's just going to make it easier for me to plug these in whenever I want down the line, especially when it comes to dependency injection. I'll be able to also provide it here. But overall, the reason why we want to do this is to help our unit tests be easier to manage, or make our code more unit testable. So I have the search. Let's just go ahead and replace the existing search here that I have with this one. So I'll do this here. I don't even need all of this. All I need to do is say here YouTube API. No, not YouTube API. Okay, instead of YouTube API, we're gonna have a private val social stats repository, right? And we're gonna instantiate it to a social stat repository, and we're gonna give it the YouTube API, right here. Right? Okay, dope. So this right here, eventually, we can do the same thing in a unit test. That's why we also want to do it this way, because it makes us easier for us to mock these things. So, all right, so here we're gonna then use the social stats repository, that search, and we're gonna give it the query, which is this query string. And yeah, this will return the search results there. Dope. So that we have the search done. Let's do the statistics. And I'm going to call this details instead of statistics. And this is going to do, this repository call is actually going to do a smarter thing. Right now is only fetching It's gonna always fetch from the internet. Always, always. But ideally, what I wanted to do is I wanted to say, hey, check in the database if I don't already have this cached. I might already have it cached. So if it's already cached in the database, grab me that one. If not, then hit the network and store it. That way we can have it down there. Or we probably don't even need to store it. We'll only store it if it's favorite. So we want to double check that they're not clicking on something that's already favorited, basically. So, but we'll handle that later on. For now, once again, I need to basically move all of this here into my statistic, but I'm gonna call it details for remote ID. I don't remember what this is gonna return right now. What was it returning? A social profile. Yeah, this makes sense to me. A social profile for me is gonna be that which represents, you know, either just your YouTube information or your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok information, all of those aggregated. That's what it represents in my application. So it makes sense for me to return that because when I go to a details screen, although I'm searching via YouTube or I'm searching via TikTok, when I go to the details screen, I am not consuming a YouTube specific search result. I am consuming the social profile result. So, what was it called? Statistic is for who? The ID, or okay, so we can say ID equals remote ID. Channel ID, there you go. Channel ID, there you go. All right, this should be done in a report so we can calculate if it's favorite. Yeah. That's true. So basically, if it's coming back from the network, we know its favorite is going to be false. But before that, I need to do this here to do see if it's in DB first. Then it to do is going to be if in DB is favorite equals true, else false. Because once you unfavorite something, I'm planning to just delete it completely. So the fact that it's in the database is going to be implied that it's something that's favorite. Although I don't know if I should treat that as a flag. Maybe I shouldn't, but if it's in the database, we know it's a favorite. That's just what I'm going to default myself to. So then this is going to minimize exact what I need to do to calculate if it's favorite or not. So yeah, we'll do that eventually. And here, what I will returning is a social profile. So I could just return a social profile or no. So, all right, that's fine. I don't remember if that's what the details do. It does that, okay. So we then do the social repository that details for the remote ID. Dope, nice. So see how it's nice and clean. Now my view model is looking nice and cleaner. It's looking leaner, right? As far as the things it needs to do. And then my repository has kind of like the main logic for each of those layers. We could then extract these into smaller chunks like use cases if we wanted to, but I don't think I'm gonna do it for this app in particular. So now I need to worry is about, I don't need a YouTube API anymore here. I can actually probably extract, yep, I can probably move this social repository to my, let's move it to my domain layer actually. Domain, I'll throw it in here. Factory, adding it, dope. So in the social stat repository, and we have the view model, right? Let's keep this. Okay, cool. So then now when we toggle the favorite button, what do we want to do, right? Here's the part where we said we're going to actually introduce the database layer. What do we want to do? Well, we want to verify if it's in the database first. How do we know if it's in the database first? So when we'll know if it was favorite. We'll know actually here, right? If you call in this toggle favorite, we'll know is favorite here. Yeah, we'll know here. So if favorite is true, then we just want to change this to, we just want to toggle this, which means we want to delete it from the database, right? Yeah, we want to delete it from the database. We should be okay because it's already in memory, so it should be pretty easy to do. Okay. Val is favorite. I'm trying to think here. So how do I know if it's not null, right? Because if it's null, then maybe I'm here when I'm not supposed to be here. But then what do I need to give it the ID? Why would I need to give it the ID? I know which ID it is because of this statistic here. Okay, so here's where this is messing up for me. I don't like this because I have this all in one view model, and now there's this lack of separation between the states I am in, which is making it difficult for me to separate mentally what it's trying to do. So I just need to freaking go for it. Let's see here. Let me just now switch over to my screen, actually, detail screen, and let's just introduce our own view model here. But before that, I want to see how is it that we invoke it. So we create a social app view model here, and we pass it in here. I can recreate this view model every single time. Why? Why can I do that? Because the only thing I use it here for is to get the statistics and get the social profile, right? That means always whenever I go to a details, I need to fetch from somewhere, be it from the database or fetching from the network layer. But that operation is gonna happen fresh every single time I go to the detail screen. So let me just do that and separate it from what the landing screen is trying to do, which is doing the whole search results back and forth type thing. Yeah, for the search. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna create my new view model here, which is gonna kind of copy this because I do need the repository as well, but we're gonna call this the details view model. Right, and then here, man, I don't know what's going on with my throat. Boom, we're gonna have here, but we're gonna have a brand new view state that we're gonna introduce. And this view state here, let's call it the details view state, right? And we can have, we know for a fact that we are going to have a, what's it called? Oh, hijo de la gran madre. We're gonna have a social profile, right? Because at this point we're loading that social profile. Do we want to extract the is favorite out of it? No, we don't need to extract this favorite out of it. I think this is fine for now. The reason I was just caught up in my head a second ago is because I was thinking, well, this view model is going to be used to load the statistics, right, of a particular detail. So the screen doesn't really need to know that that's what it needs to do, make that call to that statistic. So for instance here, let's take a look here in the details screen. Right now I'm passing in this ID to the details screen, and that ID is then used with this launch effect to load information from the view model. But why does the details screen need to know that to do that? It shouldn't, in my opinion, it shouldn't. Instead, what we need to do is this this view model here is the one that needs to, which is going to be our details view model. This details view model, whoever's passing it in needs to pass it in with that information already known. So I'm going to get rid of this ID here, get rid of all of this here. Instead, I am going to expect that whoever's calling the details view model is going to pass in the remote ID, right? And this remote ID, whenever this view model gets initiated, I am going to immediately hit the statistics call and have it, you know, fetch all that into the view state. So we're going to do view model scope here, that launch, and let's give it that dispatchers.io because it's a network call, right? And then in here, more coffee sip. Okay, so now what we do here, now we use this social stat repository that details, remote ID equals the remote ID that was passed in, right? And then this, we're gonna assign this to the view state. Can the social profile be null? Should it be null? Let it be null, I guess. Right? Is it okay if it's null? I'm thinking. Actually, let's just break it down into the pieces it needs. It doesn't need to be a social profile, but it's gonna make it easier. So yeah, let's just leave it as null for now, whatever. And we'll just assume that if it's null, we load in. If it's not null, then we are gonna go ahead and show it. So here we're gonna say, all right, the state that value is going to equal to the details view state, and we're going to give it the social profile, which is going to be this repository call right here. Dope. All right, yeah, calm down. I know. It's because I need to instantiate it here. No, social profile equals to null. Right. Dope. That's not as readable as I wished it would be. So let me just bring this down here. Then this details view state needs to be here as well. No. All right. Dope. So now I have my state is going to be handled. It will, my details view model, right? Whenever it gets instantiated and passed into the details screen, is going to automatically load based on that remote ID. Is going to load its details using the social stats repository. Then once it gets those details, it's going to update the social profile. Now, the fact that this details returns a nullable is a little bit of a problem because I will never know if I'm going to exit that loading state, because currently I'm going to be checking if it's null and then load while it's null and then show it if it's not null. But actually, now I think about it, maybe I should add is load in here as a Boolean. And then I'm going to have is error as a Boolean. Right, so then basically when we init here, we're going to say, hey, state that value equals state that, actually, I could just start it off with that. I could say, hey, is loading equals true. And I'll just leave is error is false. Let's just actually force it to be instantiated this way. Is loading, oops. Is loading equals false. Is error equals false. Dope. So then here I would just, is loading is going to be true whenever we instantiate it the first time. And then here we're going to replace the whole thing and say it's not. If there's an error, how do I know if there's an error? I won't know if there's an error, right? But this will at least get me out of that loading state. Eventually, I'll figure out a way how to handle with this error. I might have to do what this returns. But yeah, that should be it for now. So then here, when I do this view state, I can say, hey, if view state that is loading. What I want to do, a loading. What's the loading indicator for Jetpack Compose? Dang, I keep forgetting. I'm trying to do the database. Jetpack Compose. Actually, that's not. I'm just going to do a text for now. Text is loading, and then else, then we do this here, right? We're gonna show that there. Dope. All right, this is fine. This is kind of the little piece that we're trying to deal with for now, but then I'm gonna do quick column here with a favorite icon so we can see all of this. Then we're gonna do a modifier equals modifier that fill max size, right? It's the regular modifier, homie. Come on. Yes. Huh? Whoa, no. I'm not bringing in the glance column. No, that's not the one I want. It's trying to be smart because I've been using glance for a minute now. Okay, cool. All right, so in here, I'm gonna have a icon, a row actually. I don't know why I'm doing this, but icon, and then I'm gonna say icon is that outline, that heart, favorite, there you go. Favorite border, that works. Description is null. And what's the problem here? Image vector, okay, just right here like that. And all I'm gonna do is here is say, hey, modifier equals modifier that fill max width, that, and then we do the alignment, right? We do the horizontal alignment, arrangement, and I think this works. And then I'll say this would be here. If view state that social profile that is favorite, if it's favorite, then I want it filled, right? Dang it. This can be null. Favorite equals. Actually, do it like this. No, we can't. Then we'll, if it's true, then we're gonna do a different icon. Else, we're gonna do this, the outline one, right? The bordered mean favorite, right? Okay. When it's filled in, that means it's already what's it called? Oh my gosh. Whenever it's filled, that means it's already favorited. When it's outlined, that means it's not. So that will allow us to do whatever, deal with that, that icon. But here we're gonna introduce an icon button, which means when we click it, we're gonna tell the view model, hey, unfavorite it or whatever, view model that toggle favorite, which we're gonna need to do here. Fun toggle favorite. That's all we're gonna need to do because it knows. Well, no, let's pass the social profile. We know what it is at this point, right? And then we're gonna deal with the social profile here to toggle it. Oh, yeah, my back hurts. So let's get back here. So, and we call toggle favorite, and we pass in the social profile because it's gonna be based on the view state. So if this is not null, we'll pass it in. Dope. Now we're guaranteed that this won't be null. We can toggle it, and then this will come back if anything. Right. So the first thing we can do here, if social profile that is favorite, if it is favorite, then what we want to do, delete from DB. But for sure, we're gonna do social profile. Well, state that value equal state that value that copy, and then we're gonna do social profile equals social profile that, no, we have to copy this too, because now the ID is no longer gonna exist, right? Because we deleted it from our database. Then its favorite is gonna have to be false as well. Everything else should remain the same because those are the only two things that we're gonna be keeping track of in our data. No. So this is going to mimic that it was deleted from the database. If it is not a favorite, we want to add it to the database. To do, add to DB, and then we're probably we're gonna make the call to DB, and that's gonna give us back a social profile, and that social profile will have the actual ID and its favorite information. So we can actually call that to our social stat repository, right? So we can say state value equals social profile that actually, give me a second. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I keep forgetting that this needs to be in the view model scope. My brain just it goes like miles per hour, man. I don't know. I feel sometimes like I need to get checked because my brain is just everywhere all the time. Every fucking way, man. Excuse my French. Nah, don't excuse it at all. Alright, dope. So we're launching this, add to be here. We're gonna use our repository to what we're doing here. We have to add a social repository. So we have to add so we're gonna save. Let's just save, and we give it a social repository. Sorry, the social profile. Yeah. So in here, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna create a brand new suspended function that's gonna be called save, and it's gonna take in a social profile. And then here, we're gonna save it, right? We're gonna add it to the DB. To add to DB. And what do we want to do? We want to return something here. Yeah, let's return a social profile here, right? So for now, so this can at least compile. We'll just do a to do is a function here. Add to DB. This to do is a great, I think it's a method. Yeah, it's a function that was created by Kotlin. So if you have like a lot of repositories or code that you want to just prototype out, those are layers that you'll see. It's a good idea to just add this to do here. It will allow your code to be compiled and you can test it out. And once you get to that point where you know something that's not implemented, you'll hit an exception, you hit a crash, but you'll see that, hey, I know this is what needs to happen next. So use this tool. It's really helpful. Yeah, depending on your use case. So then now, okay, here we use a save. I'm requiring a view state. That's correct. So here I need to copy. Yeah, copy might be okay. Copy social profile equals that. Dope, and then that should be okay. See, and then I can remove this to do because at this point now I delegated the to do to the repository, and then I can just focus on that layer eventually. Here I will need to do. Actually, I can do something very similar to this. Yep, I can do something very, very similar to this. So instead of doing that, oops. I can have a delete method here. And this delete method is going to return to me with the ID as 0 and its favorite is false. Right, so let's go here, let's add a delete. Delete. And this eventually, I can leave this one here and then switch this to a regular to do instead of a method to do. But basically I can return the social profile, that copy, and say the ID is now equal to 0, L, and its favorite is now false because it's no longer in the database. But I actually need to just delete it from the database. And see now from a view model perspective and a UI perspective, this job is already being done for them. I can get rid of this to do right now. It's cleaned up. I don't need to worry about that. I can then focus on I can then commit this and then focus on the other layer in a different commit. So it's nice to have these little layers, but I can even clean this up one more time because I know this is going to be a social profile, right? So I can probably extract this out here, right? And then I can do a social profile here. Is going to be equal to this, like this, right? So basically I'm saying that if it's favorite, if we want to make it even cleaner, we can just say updated social profile equals like that, and we'll just use this one right here. So basically, depending if it's already favorited, then delete it. If it's not favorited, then save it, and then we just, whatever return we get from there, then just go ahead and update, update or state, view state. So yeah, this should work. Dope. Cool. So the next thing is, now let's introduce your database. I'm now at the point where I can introduce the database, but the cool thing is a lot of this should just be plugin. I should just have to write the database and it should just work. I'm trying to build because I did a lot. Okay. In the meantime, let's see here. So now I can just, I have my database already established. I can now define my schema. So let's do something like this. And then this is how I get my driver for my database. Okay. Okay, yeah. I forgot to do this. Let me just throw this in here. So basically, instead of passing the ID here, what I'll do is I'll capture it right here. Val ID, remote ID, that's what I'm gonna call it. And then, no, I'm gonna always instantiate a new details view model with the remote ID that I just captured. Dope. So this will guarantee for me that I have all that information once the screen is loaded, right? Should this be no? Yeah, I guess that works. Let's try this out. That should work. Yo, I am trying to do my best with this rest. I might need to go. Yeah, sounds like it's almost time for me to head out. Dope, everything is loaded there. Nice. Looks like it's working. So let's quickly introduce the database layer. This shouldn't take that long. Let me time out. Oh, actually, let me commit this here real quick. I'm not gonna commit this piece because it's part of the database. Details screen. Yep, I'm gonna introduce this, but let me extract this stuff actually. Dang it. Details screen. Where are you? Here. Let me extract this view model out. Where do I want you? Yeah, I guess right here is fine. Add it. The details view state. I'll extract it to the same layer. Okay. Nice. We have this stuff. Remove anything we don't need. And now let's look. Build, no. Details screen. Yes. View model for sure. View state for sure. Nope. Yes. These two I need. And this. I don't need this at the bottom. Social stat view model, yes, for sure. But we don't need the top. We don't need the favorites, and we don't need the statistics because we're not using these anymore. We're only using the search. That's correct. Yeah, so this works. Social stat repository. Yep, all of this we need. Social stat widget, yes, because we changed the name of that guy. This one, no, we don't need. Here, yes, because we changed the name. Thumbnail DTO, thumbnails DTO. I think we need these. Man, I forgot to commit those. Okay, and then we did update this API. Details network search. Okay, now details. Okay, details. Repository layer. Introduced a repository class so we can layerize, so we can prepare to introduce the database layer. This makes sense to me. Yes, commit anyway, commit. Dope. Not too much time left, but let's just go ahead and try to wrap this up. Dope. All right, so we need to introduce the database, which now that I have here in my, where is it at? Oh, is it in project instead? Yeah, here, the SQL Delight DB here. I need to add a new file. And this is gonna be called a table, and it's gonna be called, what we're gonna call this? It's not gonna be a hockey player. Why do they have it lowercase like that? Huh. Let's call this, because it's an entity, right? Social profile entity. That's what we're gonna call it. Dope. We're gonna add that. Let's go back to here and copy these comments so we can kind of see what we're gonna want to build. Right, so we're gonna need an ID, integer, primary key, not null. What else are we gonna need? We're gonna need, where's my social profile? Where's it at? This repository returns a social profile. Okay, so we need the channel title, remote ID, image URL. All of this. We just don't need this favorite. We just know that if it's in there, it is a favorite, right? Okay. I wonder if I could just copy these names like this, right? I know the nomenclature here is to do, I don't even know if nomenclature is the right word, so I don't even know where to use it. I don't know if the right way to type these out is camel case, or is it to just write it in snake case. I am used to writing it in snake case from my previous backend days. Here, let's see. So I want to now, what's the chat? Okay, all of these are string. And I think that's just called text here. This could be null potentially. Right? If it's null, I'll just default them to empty. Remote ID cannot be null though. This has to be text, not null. This cannot be null. Actually, I'll put that up here. Oops. Image URL, description, member since. As a string, okay. Total views, this can be an integer. And these can't be null either. We can just default these to 0 if anything. Totals. Dope. So these are all the things I wanted. This is an index on the hockey player name. Okay, I don't want an index on the hockey player full name. I do want it on its remote ID though, because I'm gonna have to be searching by remote ID sometimes. And then we do it on remote ID. Smart, add this index. Sweet. Thank you, example. So then when we do the insert, we're gonna do the insert as well. And we're probably gonna pass in everything except for the ID, right? So let's go ahead and copy all of these. Copy those. Add those. Add a comma at the end. Boom. Do a little tab. Indexing. The values now are going to be in that same order. So let's just go ahead and add them in. I don't know what's your, oh, that was an example on insert in, but, okay. Yeah, this is what I want here. So just question marks. All right, this works. This works, so just question marks. And I'll need a bunch of question marks. Like this, right? How many I need? One, oh man. How many? Okay, I'll just keep going until it stops. Expected expression got, okay. Is that not the way? Oh, because I have a comma at the end, is it? There we go. Am I missing any? I don't think so. Hey, I got them all. De una. But actually, this is not readable. So let's just do our due diligence and yeah, bring it down so people can see. I don't know why it's going all the way there like that, but come on. What is up with all of y'all? There we go. All right. So you can see them there. Remote ID, channel title, image URL, description, member sins, total views, total subscribers, and posts. Dope. So this is how we would insert, and we need to call this a function, right? Insert. Insert is what this is called. Dope. And I think now we have our database schema already set up. The only other one we'll need to do is, remember from our details screen, what we call the view model, we are calling here on the init, we're calling the details, and details require us by remote ID, right? So let's find a search. So search, and this is going to take in an ID, but I don't know how to pass in parameters. How you pass in parameters? SQL arguments. Select by number. Okay, player number and then whatever you want to pass in. Got it. So then this is search by remote ID and then select all from social profile where remote ID equals whatever is passed in. All right, just like that. Dope. And I like, yeah, this works. So here I will eventually have a database and I will search by that ID. Next step, we need to go back and actually set up our database object. Once you do that, I can then now do all my invocations, right? Well, actually, yeah. Hold on, I should already have a database object. Social profile. Actually, let me build first, but I should already have a database object. If we look at the build folder here, generated SQL Delight release. Yeah, so see we have a social profile stat entity here. We already have some stuff here. Social profile, see we have social profile entity queries, social stats, which has, yeah, we already have some stuff here that's built for us. So I just need to remember how is it to use a database. Database that player queries. Okay, so what I need is a social profile entity queries. Dope. So check this out. Now that that's already there, this is the cool thing about having a repository layer already there. This YouTube API is my network layer, right? So maybe it doesn't need to be called API. Maybe it just needs to be called like, let's rename this to be called network, just network. Let's call it network for now. And then here we're gonna have a private val, social stat queries. What's it called? Social profile entity queries, right? So this guy will then, this could just be called DB, right? Why do I want to name it like this? Eventually, I might have another layer that's an interface that is encapsulating a bunch of network requests, because maybe it's not a YouTube API. Could be a Twitter API layer. It could be an Instagram API layer. So I'm just renaming it as network and DB so to just treat it as that bare minimum thing or that abstracted thing. And eventually, once I change it under the hood, I can then reference it as if it's agnostic of whatever API I'm trying to hit. That was just a bunch of a brain dump. Wow. Anyways, let's go to the DB. Now I can just literally say here, okay, db.search remote by remote ID, right? And I'll pass in the remote ID that I have, execute as one or no, right? So existing social profile equals this. Okay. So if this exists, we know it's favorited, right? And okay, social profile entity actually. If social profile entity is not null, then we know that we don't need to hit the network. We just need to convert it to a social profile with its favorite equals to true because we found it from our database. So for now, let's just map it in. So we do social profile entity.map, or actually we just create a new social profile, which is our domain object. So okay, ID equals social profile entity.id, remote ID equals social profile entity.remote ID, channel title equals social profile that title, channel title. Why is this null though? This shouldn't be null. Okay, I said I could default it here. If it's null, I'll default it here on this layer. That's fine. Actually, let me just go grab the rest here. This is too much to write. Luckily, your stream is still on my screen because my broken brain didn't remember. All good, bro. All good. I appreciate the support by leaving the stream open. What is your brain doing then? Are you working on something on the side or what's going on? Should I just equal? And actually, a lot of these might be strings, so I could just do strings like that, and then I know these are supposed to be integers, so let's just change these to 0 if anything for now, and this is favorite has to be true. Dope. So now the next step is we're going to use the social profile, so we'll do another round of this, right? Social, oh shit, dang it. This, paste, no, oh my gosh, too much party, kinda. So you my type of guy, too much party. All right, hey, I'm never gonna be old for that. It's gonna be a dot, and then it's gonna be like that. Dope. So then this is gonna be the image URL. This is gonna be the description. This is gonna be a member since. This is gonna be total views. Social preference. Total posts. Dope. Int found int required int found long. These will never be longs. I can just convert this to int. That's fine. I know it's gonna give me like, yeah, it's gonna try to say something about. This is fine. I'm never expecting these to be longs, or do I? What if somebody have millions? But these could be just strings too. For now, I'll keep them to int. If that's a problem, I'll run into that later. But dope. Okay, so we have the social profile from the database now. So if it's not null, we just go ahead and fetch it. right here. This exception, we just need to try it when we're doing it from the network, right? So this has to be like that. And this is the reason why it could potentially be null. Yeah. You're gonna return is this right here. The reason it could potentially be null is because of this network profile here. If that's the case, yeah, we need to not return null, but this is where I would wrap this in a use case. Because if it's in a use case, then now I can determine, hey, you know, I need to return an error or not. So that's something to think about in the future. But anyways, this should now get me the details if I already have it in the database. The final piece here I'm gonna do is save. That way we can actually start testing. Because remember, delete, I already have it mocked out. We don't need to worry about it. But the save is the one we need to actually figure out how to do. So I think I can use this and insert. That's correct. Should be pretty straightforward if that's the case. So let me go over to the queries here section and copy over these fields, which I don't need the ID. You know what? I actually need to pull this out of one of my other projects, because now that I think about it, I need to do something about the auto generation of IDs, because if not, if I don't, it's not gonna work. Social profile dot, and there's gonna be a comma. We'll adjust these, and let me look at my other project real quick though. Open recent, easy recipe. This project here is a really big project that I'm working on. I know Saw's Gaming and Bits and Tukes96, all of y'all have been here today. The projects y'all have seen me worked on mainly is the one, my social stat app. But this one here that I'm opened is like my big one. This is a cooking recipe app that has a bunch of different things. It has from like a import feature where you can just parse any link that you want. There's from the internet, and it imports the recipe in a format that you can read everything. And this is a big long-term goal of mine. Anyways, here I should have a lot of examples about my SQL database. So if I go here, since this one is super large, right? There's a core layer, data layer, my dependency injection layer. So there's my storage. Here's how I provide the SQL driver, which I am gonna need this. So let me just copy this over, put it down here for now. I am gonna need this. And then I'm gonna need this to get my database, right? Get my database. But then I'm also gonna need a way here. This set foreign key constraints to true. And is that all I needed to do for? Let me check one of the queries. So yeah, let's look at the recipe entity. As you can see, this one is more complex. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 tables in this one. So yeah. Okay, I don't think I needed to do anything like that. This is why it worked, because I was given it. Yeah, okay. I think all that I copied over is what I need, right? I think this is all I need. Yeah. All right, cool. So if that's the case, then let's go ahead and figure out how to get my database. The same way I get my YouTube API, see there's this social stat provider, I need to create something here too. So let me switch this over to this repository. And it's getting late for me, I think. Okay, yeah, I need to finish this up. 10 more minutes, and then I'm done. I'm getting so hooked on doing this though. Dope. So there's already a YouTube API here. We're gonna want to have a database. So how do I want to call this? Yeah, I just call this a social, I'll call it this here. I don't know if this is what I want it to be. Because I don't know what a DB is, the type is of that DB. So let me just prototype some stuff here. I don't know what the type is of it. So I do know that I need to have an Android SQLite driver, right? And I need to pass it in a schema, which I'm guessing is going to be my social stats database. Is it the one that I did in my Gradle? Let me see here. Ooh, my phone is ringing. My phone is ringing now. It was here in this app, right? Social stats. Okay, what did I name that one in this one here? No, this bit of that Gradle. I named it. Where's my database? Easy recipe database. Okay, so maybe I should call this social stats database. That way it's more explicit. Okay, I don't think I need you anymore. Thank you for your help. Looks like it already synced. So when I go to the provider, oh, I'm here in the provider already. No, I'm not. Provider, oh, it's indexing. Okay, let's wait. But in the meantime, repository here, yeah. All right. So, social stats database. Did it not build? Let's see here. It needs to build. Oh, it needs to make the project, and it won't do it because this is not okay. Yeah. I know. I'm going, homie. I'm going. I understand what you mean. Social stats, remote ID. Let's just finish this up so it can compile. Total views. Now this needs to go too long. Oh my gosh. Total subscribers, that's too long. Total posts, that's too long. Okay. This is fine, whatever. I just want this to compile, right? Let me just leave this as to do for now, so it can compile. Dang it. Okay. I need to pass in the database queries here. I don't know if... Is it still not here? Social stats database. Oh, it's here. Dope. Okay. All right, dope. So now I can actually do this. So I have this schema. I'm going to need context, right? So I'm going to need context. No, I need Android's context. Is this the one I need? Context? Dope, okay. Then the name of my file, which is going to be social stats.db. This callback, this is foreign key constraints. I'm not going to have foreign keys, so I don't need to care about that. But I am going to need this here. So this is the driver, but I need to instantiate my database, right? So this should be an init call, I think, that if you try to call a database, if you try to get the DB, which is going to be my social stat database, yep, this is going to be instantiated by lazy, but we're going to have to check here. Check if init was called. So I'm going to have a, let's see here, private val is initialized equals false. We're going to keep this as a var, and then this is going to be is initialized equals true, and then we're going to check initialize is initialized, And basically this is gonna crash with this error message if it's not initialized. Check. And then, okay, yeah, and if it is initialized, then we know that the DB was already set. Hold on. This is to get the queries. And I want to, yeah, and I wanted to add it to that. Okay, so basically if you're trying to use the database and it's null, no, this should work. This should work. I could just do, sorry, I'm just trying to verify here because I need to initialize it only if you make the call to init, and if you're trying to access it without it being initialized yet, how can I check if it hasn't been initialized? How can I check? I can just do, can I just do a get, and then check is initialized, and then return value, a field, what's it called, field? This needs to be initialized first then. Basically I want to force whoever's using this to call init. And actually, you know what? I don't need to worry about this. I'm gonna make this a late init var db, and I'm gonna call the social stats database. The getter, the setter is gonna be private. So you're just gonna get to see this as a get. Private set. So then when I set it here, I'll just do db equals easy recipe social stat database, passing in the SQL driver, driver equals that, and then I'm also gonna give it oh, I don't have any adapters, so that should be it, right? So this init needs to be called. Not even gonna worry about this. I'm gonna make the assumption that it needs to be called. You know, actually, can I do the get here? Get return field. Latent modifier is not allowed on properties with a custom getter and setter. Okay, can only have a set. All right, that's fine. So I'm just gonna make that assumption that the init was called. It needs to be called somewhere, and I can do that in my main activity, right? I can say here social stat provider, and this is what basically a dependency injection library will do for you. You're gonna have to call it somewhere, and ideally it'll be like in the application level. So I mean, I could just go ahead and add an application class here, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm just gonna do it in my main activity because I know it's the first thing that's gonna get launched, and I'll init it with the context, which is this, right? So this will work for me. I know this is going to work. It's going to instantiate my database. I'll have my database here. And then whenever I am trying to use my repository, right? When I'm trying to use my repository here, this is now going to be a social stat database for me, right? And then here is going to be the social stat app provider, social stats app provider, that DB, right? And then instead of doing that query insert, I'll just do the social stat profile queries and insert like this. Boom. I mean, ideally, yeah, it depends. Maybe I don't need to pass in everything, but for now, I think this works. Actually, let me just leave it as how it was. But instead, I just instantiate this to the social stat app provider.db social profile queries. Yo. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna finish up. I'm gonna wrap it up. I know. All right, this should build fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna try to test the save here in a bit. For now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to return the social profile that was passed in so we can test this puppy out, right? So let's take a look at all the stuff I've added since I haven't built in a while. I should have a button here now. When you click this button, it should call save, and eventually we're going to get to see it in our database. So I'll show that piece here in a second, and then we're going to call it a day. I do have quite a few things I need to get done. So I don't think I need to even, do this here. It's already been done for me. Let me see here. So search, this is not the one I want. I want the one in my details view model here. I don't need to do this. What I need to do here is when you toggle favorite, I'll call save. Save should go, and then okay, yeah. So this all should be good. Let me just rerun it because I removed the to-do that would have let my app crash. No, it won't. So first things first, let's take a look at our app inspection here. In the database inspector now. You see, we have a social stats DB. That's the new one we created. Why has an X? If my understanding, if I remember correctly, the reason I have X is because it hasn't been instantiated yet. It's there in placeholder. We know it's coming, but it won't instantiate and do everything until you actually invoke some method that accesses the database. So let's do that. So let me search myself. Boom, I hit my name, and then what's this? They have this social profile. Because remember when I tried to get or search, the first thing I do whenever I instantiate here, I try to get the details. When I try to get the details, the first thing I do is I search in the database. When I search in the database, that's the invocation that, hey, I need to create this table, or I need to create this database. Now it's actually existing. Now I can actually see it. That's our first interaction with the database. Now we see it here. So what's the next step now? We tap this button. I don't know what happened. It should have inserted. It did insert everything here in my database. Boom, right? The only thing is it did not update my little heart. Let's go back here and come back into Frozier. It loaded, and you can see it's marked as favorite because it found it in the database. It's working, it's just not updating itself whenever we insert it immediately. So let's take a look here. When I toggle this favorite, I go ahead and I update the social profile, right? I copy and update the social profile. Then that goes to this details screen. And then we verify on the social profile if it's not null, if its favorite is true. Okay, what I can probably do here is I can say, hey, val is favorite equal view state that social profile that is favorite, and I default it to false, right? So then I can just verify here if it's favorite, then I can just do that, right? It's favorite. I can probably do the same thing here. Well, no, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'll just leave it like this. So this toggle, if it deletes, oh, okay. Well, I mean, no, I saved. It should have updated it. Yeah. Besides the code itself, I can't read the letters. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to increase the font of this. Resize, view mode. Yeah, I don't know how to increase the size of this. Yeah, I appreciate you letting me know for sure, because the point of it is I want y'all to be able to read this, right? But I don't know. In general, change font size with command house wheel. Command house wheel. Okay, this works, but it doesn't work for this. Ah, nice. When I close the chat and turn full screen, I can barely read it. Still, it shouldn't be that difficult for you. I don't want it to be that difficult. Font size, like, it has to be presentation. No, that's presentation mode. The editor. I'm sorry. It's in the top, you said? In the top. In the top where? There was a font size where you were, I think. General. In here, in general, I don't see a font size here. Let me try in editor. Font. Nah, the first thing you click when you search font size. Oh yeah, that font size in particular. Oh, what's this one here? There we go. This one is this right here. There we go. Dope. This might be too big though. I'm gonna tone it back a little bit. Dope. All right. So yeah, this is my my database, right? My table, my everything that I created. So the saving is working as expected. What's not working is it's not updating the UI every single time I hit save. So I did a change here. Let's see if this gets applied. So we'll take a look at my database. Oh, SQL Delight. What's this? What's this? I've never used this before. What is this SQL? What is this tool? Interesting. I'm gonna have to read up on that. But in the meantime, I'll use the built-in one in Android Studio. Databases, so social stats is closed. Yep. It will open once I do a little quick search. Froze error. Come on, search. Uh-oh. Do I have an error somewhere? Oh, it just took quite some time. That's why I need to put a loading icon. Okay, so let's refresh this. Let's go to social. All right. So we see here that we have the one I saved. If I hit this button here, oh, nice, it changed. And if I update this table, it hasn't refreshed. If I refresh it, it should be gone. It's not gone. It didn't delete. So oh, that's right. I don't have delete implemented. Haha, I need to delete. But okay. If I click on it, see, it doesn't update. It doesn't update when I click on it. So let's try to fix that real quick, and then I call it a day. Delete should be pretty quick too. So let me just add a delete here. If I go to my schema, where's my schema? Is if I go into project, open my app, source, main, SQL Delight, schema here. I have the insert, search, and then I need delete by ID, and then I do delete from social profile where ID equals the ID I'm going to be passing in. Dope. So then what I need to do here is let me just do a quick make. That way it can generate the queries that I need to access. And then here I'll use my DB that delete by ID, and I'll pass in the social profile ID. Right, oops. Right, that's all I really need to do, and then I just return a copy of it with the ID as 0, and its favorite is false because it no longer exists. So the save though here, I see what I'm doing here. I'm passing back just the social profile. I need to convert the social profile over to have the ID. So this has to have the new ID, which I need to get back somehow, and I remember how to get it. Let me see here. Let me just open my other project, which I have an example of this. In my repository module, let's see here, provide tag, let's say this default recipe. Oh, it's indexing. Come on, man. Hurry up. Default recipe right here. When I go ahead and I fetch, where is my insert? Upsert here. When I do my upsort, recipe ID, transaction result here, last insert ID. This is the one I need to get. And that is found in my recipe entity, last insert ID. This is what I need. So if I go to this entity, I need the last inserted ID. Then I would need to, man, I'm going all over the place. Need to get the ID like this, right? Though I think this is all I need. So I go back to my repository. I need to get the last ID, social, let's see, social profile ID. And then I'm gonna say DB, the last inserted ID, executors one, and your social profile ID here. Dope. And then is favorite is now true because you have just been saved. Dope. These don't need to be suspended. You sure? Okay. Sneeze attack. My bad. My bad. Okay. I need to just verify this last piece and then call it a day. Call it a done day. Haha. Call it a done day. Nah, that's funny. Done day. Okay. Hey, mira, estoy rapeando, vamos yo cantando. Estoy en la pista, pero tú no estás gritando. Yay, this is crashing. I don't know what's happening. Oh. Result set return more than one row. Search by remote ID. Okay. Why would it return more than one? It can't return more than one. Let's check our database right now. It shouldn't be able to return more than one. Oh, 404, okay. I don't want to click on anything yet. How about this one? Okay. Oh, I inserted it multiple times, it looks like. How is this being inserted multiple times? Toggle favorite. On click. Okay, let's kill this app. Let's delete the database from it. Let's uninstall it, is what I meant. And let's run it again and see. Maybe I messed up something while actually doing it. Dune dai. What does dune dai mean? Dune dai. I don't. Oh, dune dai. Ha ha ha. I get it. That's funny. Dune. I was like, yep. You're funny. Though it hits the database, right? Well, yeah, it hits the database to check if it's there, but it's not there because it's not here, right? Let's do a live update, see what that does. If I hit this, it toggled and it inserted. Bam, we see it inserted. Nice. If I untoggle it, it's deleted. Yay. So as you can see here, right? This is gonna work pretty nicely. The next step from here now, right? We just now implemented the favorites. The next step is we can make the UI a little bit nice, but I think the next step is to make sure that the favorites gets launched whenever we're actually introducing our widget. So we can then pull from the favorites for a widget and we pick the one we want, and then we can get all that information up there. I think this needs to be our next step. I don't know why my UI got jacked up, but that's something I probably need to look at later on. Oh, it's a 4x2 when I want it to be a 5x2. That's right. I want this to be a 5x2. Okay. Let me just change that real quick so I can show you how that looks. It should look nice. And then I'll call it a done day for myself. Where's my rest folder? Rest folder, values. Nope. It's in my XML. The widget info, make this a 5. Right. Am I doing apps for iOS and Android? That's my next step. Right now I'm doing it only for Android because I want to explore this app. I see a app out there that I could compete with. So yeah, after this, I am planning to build an app that I can do in both iOS and Android. Maybe something like I don't know, a pizza finder app where all you do is just find the nearest pizza. You know, if you really like pizza. So maybe something like that. I don't know. And then have it released in both iOS and Android. Dope. So this is what my widgets will look like. The idea is, right, we go into the regular app, you find whoever you want it to be. This is Mr. Beast, whatever. You favorite it, which this button will come in handy here. We can do the same thing we did earlier. How would that work though? That's interesting. I'm gonna have to, maybe I don't want to add a favorite there. Anyways, but yeah, you can then go in, favorite whatever you want from here. This is interesting. That's a bug, so I need to figure that out. But the idea would be is that you can save whoever, and then when you go and set up your widget, you can choose from the ones you favorited who you want to track. So in my sense, in my case, I want to track myself, right? So I'll probably have myself up there somewhere, and then just to see how many views I have in total. Videos, not videos, it's going to be posts. So be it YouTube shorts, be it Twitch clips, be it, I don't know, I mean Twitch streams, be it Instagram posts, TikTok posts, all of that is going to go there. Anyways, this has been a lot, I think, for today. I want to continue working on this, but as the shirt says, I'm a papa, so I need to tend to kids, deal with life. That's how it goes. And I have to be very enjoyful of all of that, right? Because we only have one life to live. So anyways, try not to get sentimental or whatever about it, but appreciate y'all really coming out to checking out the stream. Thank you so much. You Biden Bits, you know, Saws Gaming was here, Tux96, you know, Dundee. Dundee. That's funny. A lot of y'all, Mr. Delmo, you know, a lot of y'all came through today, so appreciate the y'all stopping by. Pero sí, compadre, you know, it's time to call it a done deal, a done day, because it's a done day, and done day, my boy. I don't know yet, but it's we're here. Anyways, I'm all over the place. Thank you so much once again. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Hopefully it's tomorrow. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one. Peace.